All right. Real quick, we haven't visited this guy in a long time, and he was scared until Trump got reelected to put out clips, mainly because of how I handled him. It's Bongino, ladies and gentlemen, the guy whose show is held afloat on Rumble almost entirely by Iranian bot farms. I have this on good authority. He's got 289,000 followers, and almost 6 of them are Americans. And this is breaking JFK files released. Here we go. This is the stuff we got. And the important thing to remember is that Bongino is very excited. These are finally being released as a distraction from the fact that he's not releasing the Epstein files.
Here's a video of Donald Trump saying he's going to release these. I want to discuss a very specific problem with it, though.
Well, you're not going to show the Fox and Friends clip where he says he's not going to release the Epstein stuff, are you?
Because Tulsi Gabbard at the ODNI, Director of National Intelligence, has not been confirmed yet. So we have a problem. If you listen to some of the Mike Benz, you know Mike Benz, our deep state specialist. If you listen to some of his audio on his X feed, he was doing a bunch.
Yeah, no, just tell us.
Bunch of interviews, and he was saying that the person in charge right now at the.
Are you sick? Does he? What is he? Did he overdo it? Did he get acid reflux from the chocolate cake at Mar-a-Lago?
ODNI acting is basically a DEI person who is a holdover from the prior administration. So if she's responsible for the declassification, ladies and gentlemen, good luck on what you're going to get. I'll tell you what I heard. I'll tell you what I think they're hiding.
Great. Awesome. And you got 5 minutes. Hit it.
And I'll tell you why it matters, most importantly. This is a very sensitive topic for me. Check this out.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
And there's no Epstein at all in this. There's no Epstein, right? Don't hand me another folder that says Epstein release of video and audio. I don't want to, all the materials seized at Little St. James, that's not in this, right? Don't make me read it. You're not fucking with me, are you?
Big one, huh? Well,
that's a big one, huh?
people are waiting for this for years, for decades.
Yes, and boy, are they going to be disappointed.
And everything will be revealed.
Now.
Everything except the Epstein files, that's obviously.
Everything will be revealed. I sincerely hope that that happens. Folks, the issue we're going to have is the person in charge now, before we get Tulsi in there, is definitely a Biden holdover who has an interest, like some deep state people, one of them being Mike Pompeo. I thought he was one of us. He's not one of us. In keeping these things secret. Here's the question, I believe the big question about the...
Okay, get to it. Here is a big question. Well, why doesn't the deep state want this released?
Classification, specifically of JFK,
Mm-hmm.
RFK, and MLK.
Specifically of the 3 that were in that executive order, sure.
Was the government involved in using these people for specific propaganda efforts and manipulating them through CIA folks or other intelligence people? Like I said, when we were in training, we were told it was...
And then they ran out of use for them and just had them killed, or they killed them for that purpose?
It's just Oswald. Not that I necessarily believe that. But I want you to listen to Pompeo. This is an excellent interview. Pompeo, who has zero interest in getting this stuff out there. He was the director of the CIA, sex state, right? Here he is.
Yeah, Trump put him in there.
It's with John Stossel, who's a libertarian. And Stossel's like, hey, man, this is 60 years ago. Like, are we going to release this information or what? I want you to listen to his words very specifically.
He says there's people still alive that are affected by it or some shit.
Because he says there are still some issues outstanding, even though it's 60 years ago, that could impact us right now. I think he's talking about some sensitive CIA programs that may involve some pretty significant information.
Oh, Jesus. Are we going like MK Ultra?
However, we need to see it. It's been 60 years. This is how conspiracy
Why?
theories flower when the government hides information. Check this out.
No, it doesn't. They don't flower because the government hides information. You know how I know? Because they hide information all the time for national security reasons, and you just agree with it because it's actually functional secrecy. It's just that these rolling bullshit stories just like grew off the chain since the fucking 60s, and there's a conspiracy industrial complex out there making a living off of it.
Why'd you fight to keep the JFK files secret?
Because I was trying to keep Americans safe. And by the way, don't paint with too broad a brush. 99.6% of the JFK files are public today.
But it was 60 years ago.
John, not everything was 60 years ago. And I don't want to spend a lot of time walking through this, but suffice it to say, the definition of a document covered by this statute that you're referring to, it's a little bit wonky, but suffice it to say, if Congress holds a hearing tomorrow on the Kennedy assassination, the documents generated tomorrow will be part of those files. Those would be tomorrow, they'd be 60 seconds old, not 60 years old. And last thing I'll say is there are things that happened 60 years ago that are still important to keep in the vault. There are lots of things that happened that long ago that still are appropriate not to release.
That to me confirms it, that there
are things from 60 years ago that are still smart to fuck you.
some deeper level of CIA involvement here that the United States government is unwilling to tell us.
Or God forbid, he actually, I don't like Pompeo, he's an asshole, but for fuck's sake, maybe he meant it?
Is it the CIA's role in the assassination? The answer, folks, is I don't know.
Right. So, but don't let that stop you from talking out of your ass until the files are available to you, and I believe they are already.
My suspicion is probably not.
Great. I'm glad I hung in there.
That the CIA, I believe, and we'll see when it comes out, and I'm applying the Bongino rule here, so I want to just be candid with you. I'm
What's the Bongino rule? You don't like to read?
speculating.
Somebody else is going to have to read this to me, and I don't trust anybody. So just because they read something to me doesn't mean I believe that it was actually on the page, because these fuckers around here will tell me anything because they think it's hilarious.
But listening to and having read a bunch of material on this because it fascinates me, my suspicion is that although the CIA may not have been involved in the actual trigger pulling incident, that the CIA may have known more than they're letting on, and they don't want to shock the
good God.
conscience of the American public by releasing that all, because it's going to basically rewrite history.
No, it isn't. First of all, you have to trust what was written by the CIA to believe what happened according to the CIA anyways. What are they going to do? Release a congressional report that was hidden that points to the CIA, somebody coming forward and saying it was true, and then the CIA denying it? For fuck's sake, that's the issue with this shit. It was 60 years ago.
And of course, there's another theory out there. I saw a
Oh boy, here it comes.
couple people on X saying, hey,
That Jeffrey Epstein killed JFK? I believe that. I think that's true. I would like to see the files. I mean, I don't want to say I don't know, because I do know. I have a good authority that Jeffrey Epstein was on the grassy knoll. He was one of the three men there, maybe all of them. I would like to see the paperwork on Jeffrey Epstein to make sure we know exactly where he was in Dallas on that day.
it's a big nothing burger. They're going to release it and you're going to find out nothing. Personally, I doubt that. My experience with the government.
Great. Well, I think we're all just so excited about your level of doubt. It makes great programming. Again, can I point to the fact that these motherfuckers have gotten so boring since Trump got elected?
Is that they don't dedicate an extreme amount of resources to keeping secrets secret if they don't have something to hide. I told you, I remember when I was an agent, I got sent over to Afghanistan, and they brought me in, and I was doing the lead advance, and they made me sign an NDA. It was like we were in the skiff, and it was all like deep six and stuff. Like, oh, we're going to Afghanistan. Obama's going to land in a war zone. You know, make sure nobody knows. Don't tell your wife you're going to Hawaii or something like that for a mission. And I get out in the parking lot. A guy calls me on the phone. He goes, hey, I heard you're doing the lead for Afghanistan. What I'm getting at is the government has a really hard time keeping secrets. Why have they exerted so much?
What? Hold on. From who? Your friends? Also, who was on the fucking phone? If you had clearance, that guy did. Were you just using a cell phone you bought in the fucking town square?
Effort to keep this secret. There is something there that involves the CIA, clearly. And I think it's what they knew and what they let happen rather than
Oh, God. Yeah, that's what it was.
what they did. So that was a clip from the Dan Bongino show. You can
Yeah, it was really, that was super exciting, bro. That was just, I don't know how you put that kind of energy into a show every single day, Bongholio. It's you must be exhausted. Maybe that's why. Maybe you were just tired from all the other great shows you were doing that day.